It's your girl, Miss Cowart's journey, and today I am going to be sharing my birth story. So you all who have followed my journey have been basically praying with me, agreeing with me, believing with me. We've been swapping stories from so many different countries, cities. It's just a blessing just to be able to just kind of help each other on our journey. And it amazes me that there are so many women who share my I don't want to say unfortunate, because it's been a blessing regardless of it all, but my journey. So after finding out that we were pregnant, one would think that we would immediately go call up our doctor, tell our family and so forth. No, none of that. We definitely waited to tell our family members, even my immediate family. I think I was like 5 months pregnant. We live in 2 different states, so it was very easy to kind of keep that going. And didn't tell my doctor until I was, I think I was like 2 months maybe, or no, I think I was 11 or 12 weeks. I don't know how many months it is. I think it's almost 2 months. And the reason for that is because in the past, I would call them, let them know, and unfortunately I wasn't able to meet their week requirement because I ended up having a miscarriage. So I didn't want to hold anyone up. I didn't want to have anyone apologizing to me. I just didn't want to hear anything just in case something occurred. After going through, I think this is around like February, January. I think January was like my first ultrasound, just making sure everything was okay, and which everything was okay. I actually went to the ER because I was having some really bad cramps, and again wasn't really sure, and I've had cramps before. Found out it was a heartbeat, a very strong heartbeat, and I cried so hard and so loud in the hospital that I scared myself. I scared probably the ultrasound tech and anyone else who was in a room beside me. I could not hold it in. I was so overtaken with emotion that I just started shaking. It was beautiful, but it was so scary because it was like, I wasn't scared of the outcome. I was just so overjoyed that the emotion just took over me. But around 4 months, it kicked all the way up. It kicked up so much. So 4 months, I literally started having extreme migraines, vomiting. I was so exhausted. I didn't want to eat anything. Really didn't have an appetite, and when I did want to eat, I didn't know what I wanted to eat. It was just all over the place, and what I thought I wanted to eat wasn't what I wanted to eat. Oh boy. So that was going on. Around like 5th, 6 months, I went to go to see my gynecologist, in which he told me that I was progressing, where my lining was thinning out too quickly. And so what that means basically is that you're supposed to have the sac, supposed to be able to hold your baby for however, 9 months, 10 months, and you're supposed to be able to then later on in your pregnancy so that it's easy for your water to break. Well, in my case, 5 to 6 months, it was thinning out way too quickly. So what happened? I was put on bed rest. And at first I was just like, this is lit. I'm on bed rest. I can get all this sleep I want. I don't have to do nothing around this here house right now. I don't have to go to work because I gave the nut to my supervisor, and I was basically able to work from home. It was like the best life ever. Like, I wasn't even out there in the world anyway with the whole pandemic going on. So like, you would think that this was lit. And for me, I am an introvert, so like, I like to be in the house. I don't like to be out around too many people. Like, that's just who I am. So for me, it was perfect. Watch movies, read books, catch up on whatever at my house. I have bed rest at 40 weeks. So from 6 months to 40 weeks, I was on bed rest, and everything continued and kind of progressed when it came to the vomiting. I was just vomiting anytime throughout the day. Oh, heartburn. I had to take so much Tums because I was just having so much acid reflux, more so acid reflux. But overall, like, everything was fine. I want to say maybe around like between 7 and 8 I started bleeding, but that was normal, he said, my doctor, in which, you know, I wasn't really concerned because it wasn't nothing alarming for me. It wasn't like a lot of blood. It wasn't like bright red. It's just, I could tell that it was blood. The discharge was normal. Like, so everything with my pregnancy, besides the fact of the lining thinning out quickly, everything was perfect. It was a normal pregnancy. Took my diabetes test, in which I passed that, and that was fine. All my thoughts going into this pregnancy as far as eating healthy, because, you know, I've been trying to make sure that I turn my life around to eat healthy to get pregnant. Girl, when I was pregnant, I just needed to eat. For my 40 weeks, I want to say like maybe 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks before my due date, I got a, I can't even remember what the word is. If I remember, I'll put it down at the bottom of the screen, where basically a nurse goes in and just kind of sweeps your cervix, which that happened, in which that was extremely painful. Oh Lord. Oh, let me go back. I have been having, during that time, I was having Braxton Hicks from 6 months or 7 months until the end of my pregnancy, and they felt just like contractions, just not as painful, but they were strong Braxton Hicks. After getting my sweep, nothing happened. I did not progress. So 7/6/2021, I was having Braxton Hicks, and they were stronger than usual, and I was starting to time them, in which they were like 3 to 5 minutes apart. We went to the hospital, and which, you know, the doctor checked me, and he was like, yeah, they're Braxton Hicks, you know, I can see but, you know, I was, at this time, I've been 3 centimeters for like 3 weeks, but, you know, I don't see any active contractions. And I'm like, how? I'm in pain, and they're not like the regular Braxton Hicks, and they're coming like this. So he's like, yeah, whatever. So I told my husband, like, women, let me pause first off. We know our body. Can nobody tell us nothing about our body that we already don't know? Like, I knew that this, out of all the months that I've been having Braxton Hicks, even having a child before, I knew that these were real contractions. I didn't care what he saw on that monitor, computer, whatever he was listening or watching. I didn't care. I knew that this was active. So anyway, we went home, and my husband and I, we would walk anyways around our neighborhood just a little bit. Like, I'm not a walker. I wasn't really walking like that. I'm just telling you the truth, because I've been on bed rest for basically my whole life. So we literally walked like, maybe, I don't even know if that was a mile. We walked our dog. So we just basically walked from one end of the street to the end of the street, from stop sign to stop sign, basically. And in the midst of walking, I was just like, these are not Braxton Hicks. I was in pain. I had to pause and stop and breathe through it. So anyway, we came back to the house after we finished our walk, and my husband, he's watching, I think it was at this time, he was watching some wrestling or something downstairs, and I am upstairs watching, I think, a movie or something like that. Whew, until I noticed, I'm like, I'm breathing very much harder. I'm breathing a lot harder, and the contractions got a lot worse. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, I know that this is contractions. And so, because it got a lot worse, and because we already went to the hospital, and the hospital was already like 30 minutes away, I still was like wanting to make sure that they didn't send me back home. So I breathed through it, pushed through it, and cried through it. as best as I could. I was literally, at that time that he checked me, I was 3. I said that. So I think we got home from the hospital at 7. We got home at 7 and we left here around like 11. So from 7 to 11, I was, and let's just say 7:30 to 11, I was literally in the bed in fetal position, every position you could probably think of that would help, leaning on the headboard of the bed, leaning against my pillow, on my side, anything and everything I could think of that could be comfortable to relieve some of the, the contractions, I was doing by myself. And so I told my husband, I said, I think I'm definitely having contractions. I think we need to go to the doctor. I think we need to go to the hospital. So he comes up here, he sits down beside the bed as I'm going through the contractions, and he's literally in his phone still, looking at the game, and then at moments looking at me. And I know there's nothing he could do, but I was just like, I wanted to get his phone and just throw it out the window. So I'm breathing through that, and I am crying through it. I'm shaking at this point because there's so much pain. And I'm pushing at the same time just to see if that relieves pain. Girl. So anywho, I get up really quick because I have to, at this point, I have to throw up. I think I had exhausted myself so much. I don't know, moving all around maybe, I don't know, and I had to throw up. So I'm getting up to throw up, and I am throwing up. I couldn't make it to the toilet, so I'm throwing up in my sink. I'm peeing on myself. I'm then trying to throw up in the toilet. I was all over the place. Blood is coming out now at this point. It was a hot mess. Before I could even make it to my sink, I threw up in my chair that sits in the room. It was just a hot mess. From the chair throwing up to the sink throwing up to the toilet throwing up to blood and pee being on me in the floor. I was like, how in the world did this happen so quickly? I felt so crazy because I'm like, everything's just falling out. It felt like So, and I'm still going through my contractions. Ugh. So at this point, we agreed that, okay, we gotta go. Because at this point, I am gushing out blood. And not just the regular blood I was having discharged, throughout the pregnancy. No, it's red blood. So, yeah. And when we see red blood, my doctor said, boom, let's go. Take it back to the hospital. And we're already 30 minutes away. So I jump in the shower because ain't nobody finna go to no hospital with their breath smelling like throw up and blood and urine all over them. What wasn't happening? Because all they want to do the whole time you're there is check you. So anywho, take my bath, shower, whatever, and then we jump in the car. I'm having contractions in the car, and every single bump that he could go over, which I know is not his fault, every bump was in the way. So we're going over the bumps. I'm having my contractions. We pull it to the hospital, in which, they ask, oh, mom, because usually at our hospital, which may be many of y'all, you go through what is it? The system where it checks, where it checks to make sure that, there's no guns or weapons on you. So he just let me go through at this point because, bruh, I was in a wheelchair. I'm having contractions. Ain't nobody got time for that. He, thank God for that, security man just let me go. So they pushed me there. I'm in the waiting room for a good maybe 5 to 10 minutes and going through my contraction. And it's so funny because during this time of me being there, it's only like one other lady in there, and I don't want no one to see me going through my pain. And I know it's normal, whatever, but I was just like trying to just keep it together, and I was just uncomfortable, and she was not trying to not look at the same time, like, stop looking at me kind of thing. So anyway, so we go to the back of the room, in which they check me at that time, and I am 7 to 8 centimeters. So I went from 3 to 7 to 8 centimeters. So it's going like that. And and progressing very quickly. They stick me in my right arm and nothing, because it wasn't put in right. She didn't, I guess, have it in my vein, or I don't know, my vein went, I don't know. She couldn't get it in the vein. So I tell her that it hurts. So she takes it out. She's trying to stick it again. Can't get it in. So then someone else comes. I said, can you please do it? I don't want her doing it. Like, please. And I was just being honest. I wanted to be honest this whole pregnancy or journey of being in the hospital. Just wanted to be honest. Like, not letting just people just toss me all around. I want to be very verbal. So then she went to my my left arm, in which they couldn't do it either. They couldn't get a vein for some reason. I'm sitting here looking at my vein. I don't understand why it's so hard. Then they stick me again in my left arm. At this point in time, that's 4 times. 4. Then they stick me here. Then they stick me here. Ooh. And then they bring it back to this arm. So how many times is that? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times they stuck me. I was so annoyed and exhausted. And during the time that they were sticking me, I was asking them, please wait, because I was going through my contractions. Sometimes she would wait, and other times she would not listen. And if you've had a baby, then you already know the contractions are the worst pain ever. It can take over one's body because it's just so much happening with the body, preparing for the baby to come. So chick didn't listen. And I was begging her. I wasn't asking her. I was begging. It was so crazy. I'm begging her to wait. And I get the fact that the baby could come any moment. I'm 7 to 8 centimeters. I understand. Let me just breathe. As I told her, just let me breathe through this contraction. And they were coming quickly. So I understand. But if you are a nurse and you're watching this, if you are anything and you're watching this, anything that's going to do anything to someone's body, listen to the patient. She didn't listen. I was very tired. I was in so much pain. I was trying to mentally do this, and she was breaking me. So I pushed her. I didn't think about it when I pushed her. All I know is I pushed her because she didn't listen. And I was going to go through this contraction without her sticking me this time, because she already did it a couple times. So I pushed her out of the way and said, wait. And in my head, I wasn't thinking, oh my goodness, why did you do that? Oh my goodness, you're about to go to jail. Or, oh my goodness, you may have hurt her. Like, none of that was running through my head. I just needed her to not add on to my pain. So I pushed her, and she got it at that moment. She said, okay. So I went through the contraction. She stuck me again and again and again. And finally, she got it. So from that point on, I couldn't get an epidural at this time. I wanted an epidural. I was mentally defeated. And I felt so bad because I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to do this naturally. I didn't want to put any other drug in my body that was already there. I didn't want to feel groggy. I didn't want to feel all the different things that I felt the first time I had with my son. So I felt so defeated. I felt bad. I'm apologizing to God, like, Lord, I'm sorry. Like, I felt like I gave up. I felt like I had, like I didn't do enough for him. And I know I don't know how to explain it, but I really just wanted this to be a better birth. And I know he is there. I know he's forgiven me. I know he's not in, I didn't need to ask for his forgiveness. I felt like I wanted to do this for me and him. I wanted to do this for my son. I wanted to do this for myself. And I was believing in God that I could do this. And so that's where the apology came into play at. So I ended up getting an epidural. And I, at this point, was 9 centimeters when I got the epidural. I didn't even know you could even get it that late. So I get the epidural, and I think they pump it up maybe 2 to 3 times because I could still feel those contractions like a beast. And like I said, I was just tired. So they pushed me into the room that I'm going to give birth. And within 45 minutes, maybe, I am 10 centimeters. And so I push, no baby. And then I, push again, but I ain't supposed to. And then I push again, no baby. And I push one more time, and he comes. And it's so real to see God's blessing. It's one thing to believe and know that he's coming and so forth, but to see his miracle with my own eyes, to see it, I was overcome again with emotion. I just burst out crying. And I was like, he's beautiful. He looks just like you. I was telling my husband that he looks just like you. My husband was there, obviously, and just me and my husband and the doctor. And I'm just thanking God. From the time my son has been born till this day, I thank God every single day for my son. When I saw him, he looked just like my husband. He was, I don't remember it with my first son, but he had like this cone head. And I'm just like, in my head, okay, whatever. This is so interesting. As a mom, you just sit there and you look at your kid, and whatever they look like, it's like, whatever, it's my baby. And so he was 6 pounds and 0.1 ounce. 6.01 ounce. So little baby. He was so long though. His legs were long, his fingers, toes long. I was like, he's so long. I was like, he's so little. I was just so in love, like, just so in love. I still obviously am in love. I tore in 3 places and like, oof, I felt it after the medicine, wear it off. So going to my room after we had the baby, I nursed him, and ooh, I didn't remember how painful it was to start nursing again, because I nursed with my first son for a year. And so we always had plans to nurse my son, my second son, in which he's a junior. I'm still in this awe feeling of like, I cannot believe I have 2 kids. I can't believe I have this beautiful son. He is everything God knew I needed. Every single day he wakes up smiling at me, and my heart is just filled more and more and more. He's so sweet. He's so sweet. He brings me so much joy. So much joy. I don't ever remember feeling any type of love like this. The love. Oh, it's beautiful. So, tomorrow, my baby will be 4 months. And I am asking the Lord to slow down the time, because I am enjoying every minute, hour, second with this boy. I squeeze, hug, kiss. I just do everything I want to him. I'm so just in love, like my baby. He's my baby. He's asleep right now. So can't show him now. I will share definitely some pictures in my community area, as well as on my Instagram. If you're not following me, it's Mrs.Cowart's Journey. Go there. That's where you'll see all of my updated pictures and videos and milestones, and Facebook, also Miss Cowart's journey. That is pretty much my birthing story and my pregnancy story on one. Yeah, I'm in love, and I will do this again if the Lord wants me to or allows me to. I am going to continue to try to eat as best as I can when it comes down to, obviously I'm still breastfeeding him, and I'll be breastfeeding him for a year or more. So I have to be mindful of keeping up with my not even diet, but my lifestyle, nutrition. I need to slow down on my eating because I am eating all the time, and I know it's because a lot of calories and so forth is being, you know, put out for nursing. However, sometimes I just be eating. So I done lost weight and then gained weight. When I gave birth, I was 170 pounds, and I like gained most of it back.
Yeah, and I'm not even finna show y'all my stomach because I don't want to. The front of my stomach, and this is the side of my stomach. And sometimes I'm more bloated than others. But I know right now it didn't look as bad, but it be bad looking sometimes, don't get me wrong. But that is it, you guys. If you have any questions about anything that I failed to mention, make sure you list them down below. Ask all of your questions, and I'll make a video based on that. My next video is going to be on me doing my locks, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I will also be doing a video about updating about my hair in general, my plans for the future with relax or going natural or whatever it is. I'll be talking about that as well. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. I will see you all in another video. I also want to drop one more thing. Because we had moved in during the pandemic, or during the time that I was pregnant, we moved into a new home, and basically there's so many things I want to do with my home. I want to include some DIY things on my channel, as far as doing some really major renovations inside the house. So if you're interested in that, let me know down below. Please let me know. If you don't remember anything about this video, list down below whether or not you're interested in a hair video. Also, if you're interested in me doing showing you all some DIYs when it comes down to my home, and that means accent walls, painting, or just building up my closet, because those are different things I want to do around the house. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you later. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Bye.
Want to say hello? Do you want to say hello to the people? Say hello. I know it looks like a big old ring. It doesn't look like people, but it's people behind there. Say hello. Can you all say hello? He is a junior, named after my husband. He did finally wake up. Say hello to the people. Yeah, they're nice people. They're nice, Mama. Can you say bye? Can you say bye to the people? Can you say bye-bye?
I will talk to you all later. Bye. See ya.